Were you, after watching the tape, were you pleased, or what was your attitude after the game?
We didn't make enough plays to win the game. I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what the score is. You gotta make some plays. We did a good job. We did get 3 turnovers. I think the longest pass from the line of scrimmage was 18 yards, which is a positive. I thought our guys kept playing and played hard throughout it, and we did some good things. But at the end of the day, we had a chance to make a few more plays, and we didn't. So we didn't win the game. So we got to learn from that and move on.
Bobby talked about all the positives that you guys did see, and you had some. And Josh was one of the big ones.
Yeah, Josh. I mean, Josh is a really good player. He played safety for us in the game, basically. And actually, he had an interception as a safety and an interception as a nickel. He's a versatile guy. He's worked hard. Proud of his effort. Thought he played well in the game, and look forward to him continuing to be consistent in his play. As the season gets going.
How difficult was it to get pressure on the quarterback in that game? You all pressured him, but didn't get him down.
Well, a little bit of that's the style in which they contract their formations and they're tight, and then it's 7-man slide protection. It's only a 3-man route. So when you do that, your choices are probably to play a little more coverage, to take away the deeper balls and try to force the quarterback to maybe force it, as opposed to giving him a matchup that maybe he wants. When you do that, it can be harder to get pressure on him when that happens. A couple of the interceptions actually were caused by pressure on the quarterback, and he chose not to take a sack, and he threw it away, and then we were able to get a pick on it. So, the interceptions and the sacks kind of go hand in hand. This time we got interceptions because of the rush. Later on, it could be a guy that will take a sack. So, I think the guys were pretty good in their effort as far as rushing. The thing it is, you just got to understand the style of quarterback you're seeing. He's a guy that can bide time. He's a big-bodied guy. He will scramble, and he looks to throw the ball when he scrambles. That's the key. And I thought our guys in the back end on the scrambles, for the most part, did a good job of plastering the receivers in their area, staying with the man-to-man, which allowed us to, get 1 turnover.
Do you go back and watch Ohio State getting ready for this, Houston?
Oh, well, you're always going to watch the opponent and the things that philosophically they believe in. And, obviously that you only have 1 game from their personnel there. We've obviously looked at other tape from last year just on personnel. Obviously studied last week's game, and then looked at schematically the things that they've done as coaches wherever they've been. So they're sound in what they do. They understand their system. They got a philosophy. So we understand we have to play well to compete. So we got to get ready to play.
About the quarterback,
he's fast. I mean, he's a guy that can make things happen with the ball in his hand. He's elusive. He's really dynamic when he's back, both as a thrower and as a scrambler. He can obviously run the quarterback run style plays, so that adds a dimension to it. So he obviously complements that offense very well. So we understand that it's a challenge to play a guy like that. So we've got to make sure that we focus on what we need to do to be ready to play, and that's really the main thing, is focus on what we need to do and get ourselves ready to play.
Well, the defense spent about 3-4 weeks trying to guard Lamar. Does that help you in this game?
Well, I think it helps you understand the leverage of when you're going to play a guy like that, so you can always have experience from that. From a burst standpoint, a speed standpoint, there's probably some comparable ability there, so it does help you with your angles and things like that.
How would you assess the run defense against Auburn?
Well, I think that at times we were well. I think we had to do a better job of the perimeter support, because when they constrict the formations like that, you've got to be able to come up in force. So we got to continue to work on that. And then I think from a technique standpoint, everybody's got a little something they can work on. I thought that in the first half we played really well. I thought in the second half we probably gave them a couple too many double-digit runs where you would have liked to have gotten off the field on a 3rd down situation, the one I can think of right before the 4th quarter started. So I think that there was some good things in it. I think they're pretty talented in what they do, but at the same time, I think there's some things that we can improve upon at each position, and we've certainly addressed that in practice.
The young corners, well, and include Shaq in that, but I mean, you did have 3 takeaways, but you could have had a couple more.
Yeah, we could have 3 more at least, and we could have had game-changing plays. So, that's the thing. You got to be able to make plays when they come up, and we showed them that because, I know that right there when we had a chance to, we had the momentum going a little bit, and we got a little pressure. Keith got some pressure on the quarterback. The back missed a block, and he threw it, and we had a chance to get our hands on the ball right there, and really would have given the offense field position probably about the 30-yard line. So, you learn from those things. You're not going to catch them all, but you are going to have a chance to get your hands on balls with the style of play we're going to have. And when that happens, you have to be able to make those plays because getting turnovers is real critical.
Who were the other ones? Burgess?
Well, Burgess had one. Burgess had one. I think Chuck had one, and there was one other one. Shaq, I think, had one. So I felt like there was probably about 2 to 3 other plays that we could have legitimately, made a play on the ball.
How about your outside linebackers? How they graded?
They were solid. I thought that Trayvon, I thought that he played really fast in the game. He showed up, particularly in pass rush. Really pleased with his effort and energy out there. And really, one of those plays you could argue was a caused interception with the way he rushed. I thought Keith was really solid. Keith played a couple spots for us in our packages, did a good job, played pretty consistent. And then, Devontae, I thought was solid also. I thought for the most part all those guys were solid. I think there's little things that show up in games early in the season that you want to work on, setting the edge, playing with your hands, swinging your hands in pass, kind of understanding how a guy's setting on you and what you need to do as the game unfolds. So those are kind of experience things that really all 3 of those guys are young at playing outside linebacker. That I think that as we move forward in the season, they can maybe transition those kind of plays in the second half to maybe, tackle for losses, sacks, game-changing kind of thing. So we'll work on that and just work to get better.
The timeout on the last drive or whatever, that got a lot of attention, obviously. What do you think of that rule? Just that the clock was supposed to restart.
That's the rule. Because the clock was running before, so it is what it is. If you call a timeout there and they run a play and you get a turnover, you got more time too. So it's something you can debate. At the end of the day, we didn't win the game, so there's a lot of other things that I would worry about more than that.
Todd, you've been in so many big games in different places. To look up there, and I know during the game you don't think about it, but the fans that were there, how impressive is that for a program like Louisville to get that support?
Yeah, I thought it was great. I've been able to play in that stadium a few times at the NFL level and the college level, and I thought our fans were as good as any I've ever seen. I was really impressed with their energy. You can tell that we've got a lot of great support here at the program, which is one of the reasons I love it here. And that you can tell they're passionate about football and us winning, and want to see us do well. So I think it's a statement for our program and our university of where we're headed. We've just got to continue to work hard and develop the players that we have, continue to recruit, and we'll make that environment like that a winner next time.
If you're looking at the film on Houston, what kind of athlete are you seeing in the quarterback?
He's really athletic. They have athletes now all across the board, but the quarterback in particular is fast. He's dynamic. With the ball in his hand, he can make guys miss. He's going to be very spectacular in space with what he can do, so you've got to understand that and leverage the ball. They're going to play at an up-tempo style, which, from a philosophy standpoint, is to get your big guys tired, to make them run sideline to sideline, so you have to play more guys up front with that. So we understand that it's a challenge and we've got to play well.
Is Keith a guy that's kind of like suited to play against a guy like that since he's a quick guy on the edge?
Yeah, I think that anytime you get guys like Keith on the edge that can play in space, I think it helps you in your movement skills. And because really what you're doing is you're never one-on-one on a guy, but you have to leverage the back or the ball carrier with another guy. Somebody has the force, somebody has, the inside alley of it. So as you leverage it, with speed, you can constrict that space and make it a smaller, window for him to get through, and that allows you to tackle a guy like that. So, playing with athletic guys definitely helps in that regard.
How do you think the defense performed in the last game?
We performed very good. We could have done better. There's been a lot of plays left out on the field that we could have made. personally myself could have made this secondary and this defense a whole lot better.
We'll say when you get 3 takeaways, it seems nice, but Coach just said he thought there were 3 more that were left on the field. That's where you got to work and try to get better, right?
Yes, sir.
How do you do that? And what happened on yours? I mean, it looked like it was a tough one, wasn't it?
Yes, sir, it was. But one thing's for sure, we just gotta keep grinding in practice, keep doing what we do best, and just know that it'll all translate on the field come Saturday.
What kind of challenge do you face this Saturday?
These guys are very explosive, and they know how to put a lot of points up on the board, so we just have to continue what we do best, stop them, and get the ball to our offense to make.
Big are turnovers for this defense. We saw it all last year, and you get 3. How big is it for this defense that you just feed off of that?
It's major. I mean, and looking back on it, seeing the plays they could have made and haven't made, it just gives us an opportunity to study up on it and try to match the level and intensity and hopefully surpass it.
Against a quarterback who can run, how do you kind of know your assignment, stay with your assignment, make sure you don't get away from the wide receiver, but keep an eye on him?
Just staying disciplined, mainly, and just following our keys and mainly staying disciplined, mainly.
How do they score? What are they good at?
I mean, they're good at, like I said, a lot of explosive plays. We have to just stay in the film room just to really get a good grasp of what they're doing. But we understand that they get a feed off of big plays, and we just have to stop the big plays.
Just to clarify, what was the play that you felt like you could have had a big lead and get? What point in the game was that?
Personally, I felt like I could have had multiple of interceptions as far as one on a pass breakup in the end zone, and like you all seen the one that I dropped.
What about playing home in front of the crowd? I mean, in front of the home crowd this weekend. How excited are you guys?
We're very excited. We're ready to bring Card Nation out to see us perform at home in Papa John's Stadium, and ready to just get things rolling.
There's some talk that a game sandwiched in between Auburn and Clemson, that it'd be a trap game, that it'd be something you all overlook. Do you think that's true? That has any validity?
I feel like it's not true. I mean, I feel like we all know how to take care of our bodies and get in and out and really learn what's coming ahead of us in the far future. So I feel like we shouldn't have a problem with that so-called sandwich you guys speak of.
All right.
Thank you.